Madam Clerk, would you please call roll?
Councilmember Brightigan.
Here.
Councilmember O'Neill.
Here.
Councilmember Dovin.
Present.
Councilmember Klopfenstein.
Here.
Councilmember Nguyen Peñalosa.
Here.
And Mayor Pro Tem Tran.
Here.
And Mayor Jones.
Here. May I please ask Assistant City Manager Matt West to do the invocation, followed by Councilmember John O'Neill to do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please prepare yourself according to your faith. Dear Lord, as we gather here today, let us celebrate yet another successful community festival with an eye to a summer full of familiar activities, all marking the passage of time and the importance of the present moment. Each day is a precious gift with the opportunity to shape the future with the choices we make now. As time flows steadily forward, let us take a moment to center ourselves and focus on the present. Let us act with wisdom and compassion, embracing the present with gratitude and a clear vision for a better tomorrow. We ask this in your name. Amen.
If you have a cap, please remove your caps. Please join me in the pledge. This is the greatest symbol of freedom in the world, especially after this last weekend celebrating Memorial Day, all those that gave their lives so we could be here tonight. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May be seated.
Alrighty, we will adjourn over to the Housing Authority. So I will hand it over to, who's chair of the Housing Authority? Okay.
That's not on here anymore, is it?
Call for the roll call, please.
Commissioner Dovin.
Present.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Klopfenstein.
Here.
Commissioner O'Neill.
Here.
Commissioner Tran.
Here.
Vice Chair Brightigan.
Here.
And Chair Nguyen Peñalosa.
Here.
And Commissioner Beckles and Mr. Tan Nguyen are both absent.
Thank you. Is there anyone wishing to speak under Housing Authority? Seeing none, we'll move on. There are 2 items on the consent calendar.
Move it.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call vote.
I'm going to do a roll call vote on this. Commissioner Dovin.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yes.
Commissioner Klopfenstein.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Neill.
Yes.
Commissioner Tran.
Yes.
Vice Chair Brightigan.
Yes.
And Chair Nguyen Peñalosa.
Yes.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Is there any matters from commissioners? Then I'll adjourn the meeting to back to City Council.
Alrighty, thank you. That takes us on to presentations, and we do have one presentation listed, which is the summer program update as presented by Community Services Department.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. The Community Services Department is happy to present the summer program update for this summer 2024. We have a lot of fun activities, events, and programs that we have planned out for the community. I have our division or department manager, Mark Freeman, who's going to give us this presentation. Take it away, Mark.
Good evening, Mayor Jones and members of the City Council. As John said, it's our pleasure to be here tonight to provide you with the Community Services 2024 summer program report. As John mentioned, the Community Services Department has a lot planned for the community this summer. So let's just jump right into that. Starting first in just a few weeks on Friday, June 21st at 5:30 p.m., the Garden Grove Community Foundation, in collaboration with the city, is hosting a concert at the Garden Amphitheater to celebrate its annual anniversary. This concert is free to all Garden Grove residents who show ID at the door at the day of the event. And headlining this concert is band Win and Rome. Then moving forward to the following week on Thursday, June 27th at 6:30, we'll have the band Smoking Cobras playing oldies rock and roll, located just down the street from the amphitheater on historic Main Street. And then jumping forward to July, We will have the remaining 4 concerts held at Eastgate Park, as we've done in the past. We will begin with Taylor Nation on July 11th, which is a Taylor Swift cover artist. Redneck Rodeo on July 18th, which is country music. Jimmy's Buffett on July 25th. Obviously, he's a Jimmy Buffett cover artist. And then lastly, we have Tijuana Dogs on August 1st, kind of wrapping up our concert series. Now, I can't mention the summer concert series without talking about the Garden Grove Voice Program. This program is in its 12th year, where local high school students are invited to compete in a singing competition before each of the 4 concerts at Eastgate Park. The winner of the singing competition receives $500, plus $500 goes towards their school's choir program, and that's all sponsored by the Garden Grove Community Foundation. And also the auditions for that is well underway right now. We have a few more opportunities for that coming up in June before we get going with that. Moving on to our movies in the park. The first movie that we have kind of kicks off our summer. That's on Friday, June 14th, and will be held at Eastgate Park. We will be showing the 2023 Barbie movie. And that will be at, the seating kind of begins at 7:30, and then the movie starts at 8:30 when the sun goes down. And then to kind of cap off the summer, at the end of the summer on Friday, August 9th, we will be showing the movie Grease, just down the street on historic Main Street as well, just after the conclusion of the car show. So we feel like that fit pretty well. And then, like I said earlier, both movies will start at 8:30 p.m. once the sun has set. And as always, we encourage anybody who attends to bring blankets and chairs to be able to enjoy the movie. Kind of a youth basketball update. We have our summer basketball program that is getting ready to start. The season runs from June 8th through July 26th. Signups happened for that during April. We had a very good turnout this year. We're kind of back to pre-COVID numbers, which is good to see. We have 260 youth participants between the ages 6 and 14 years old. We have 26 teams, and each team plays about 8 games per season, plus any playoff games if they qualify for that. We have 23 volunteer coaches, so a couple coaches are doing a couple teams. And then we have our mini skills and drills clinic that we have for the little ones from their 4 to 5 year olds. And that's a 6-week program where they practice once a week for 6 weeks. So we're excited to see that those numbers rise and be back to where we were prior to 2020. Aquatics, this is always an exciting one. Our schedule is as follows. Woodbury Park Pool is opening up very soon it's actually already open for the spring session, but our summer programming, session number 1 will begin July 3rd, and Woodbury will go through July 1st, and then we'll have rec swim Monday through Sunday from 1:45 to 3:15 p.m. And then during the night, we'll have rec night swim, which is Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 to 9 p.m. And then Magnolia will be opening up at the next summer session 2, and that'll run from June 17th through August 8th. And just as Woodbury will have rec swim for day and night, which for the day will run Monday through Thursday and Saturdays from 1:45 to 3:15 p.m. And then our night swim will be Mondays and Wednesdays from 7:30 to 9 p.m. And then our Gary Hall pool at Eastgate Park will be opening on session 3, which will be July 1st, and that will run a little bit longer. That'll go through September 6th. And our rec swim will be the same as the Woodbury schedule, which is Monday through Sunday, 1:45 p.m. to 3:15. And then the rec night swim will be Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 to 9 p.m. And then obviously on Saturdays and Sundays, there are the opportunities for private rentals for residents to have kind of private parties and those things, and they would contact our City Hall and Community Services Department to book those. Moving on to our summer day camp program, now known as Camp Grove. This is our second year being called Camp Grove, and we've moved we moved last year to Edgar Park, and the building there that used to hold the Tiny Tots program. And it was really successful. We really enjoyed having it there. Everybody felt the programming was much safer and easier to kind of keep track of all the kids running around, and there's better kind of programming and amenities there for the kids. But we're excited to bring it back. It's already getting close to being sold out again. It's one of our most popular programs. We sell out just about every year. Usually there's a few spots here and there every week, but not a lot. We'll be running from June 10th all the way through August 9th. We'll have 9 weeks of day camp, and it'll be running from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, with at least one excursion every week. And as you can see there, that they're all listed, from bowling to going to Knott's Berry Farm to Disneyland, and we try to balance out the cost between the expensive excursions and the not so expensive excursions, to try to keep the costs as affordable as possible. But we're excited to have that, and we have 60 kids from ages 5 to 12, and then we usually have about anywhere from 5 to 10 counselors in training that get to come every week, and they pay a much lower fee to be able to help and kind of get on-the-job experience, and in theory become a counselor when they've turned 18, and they can become part of our program there. And then moving on to Atlantis Play Center, starting on June 4th, we will be having our extended summer hours begin. They'll be every day from 10 a.m. to 4 from Tuesday to Saturday, and then on Sunday will be the normal 12 to 4. It's the same cost as before, $2 per person, free for children 2 and under. However, adults must be accompanied by a child to be able to enter the park. And then there's the rental spaces. We have the picnic tables that are $5 per table, and for the day, and then we have the Neptune's Pavilion, which is $25 an hour. And I'm happy to report that the splash pad is open. We'll be running fully operating June 4th, but we have it open right now, kind of a soft opening, getting kind of working the kinks out this week, and then next week we'll be up and running fully. But we're excited to have that back online, since we did all the major overhaul to the filtration systems. Our Summer Parks and Rec Guide, that was released in mid-April, and it's for all of our kind of summer programs and contract classes and special events is where that advertises there, and it's fully, for the most part, digital online. We market it completely through digital means, but this is our way of kind of putting all of our programs into one convenient spot, and we have a lot of different activities and contract classes, like I said. But one thing that we wanted to highlight here is kind of the new, if you see on the table of contents, it's our special needs adaptive programs. That's a new area that we're trying to bring in. We're happy to report that we have quite a few classes, and we've brought in a few adaptive recreation programs, as you can see here on this list. We have Top Soccer in conjunction with Orange Junior Soccer Club, which is an all-ability soccer club. We have Challenger Baseball, which is District 62, that is working with us to be able to bring people of all abilities there. And then Spectrum Soccer, brought to you by Best Sports. And then we also have American Sign Language, and we're working closely with other organizations to try to bring in more classes so we can be in line with our mission to have more inclusive classes and contract classes. And then obviously, as you can see here, we have a lot of special interest classes, and this is just a quick highlight of everything. There's way more in the brochure, but we have art classes, robotics classes, pickleball. I know that's a hot topic. Everybody really loves that. And we have that, and then taekwondo and fencing, and even yoga for kids. So we try to have a good variety in that, and that's all found in our Parks and Recreation Guide that comes out 3 times a year. And then moving on to our Senior Center, they have a whole host of programs that are happening there. But the Senior Center, in collaboration with Meals on Wheels, had through an OC grant, they received for intergenerational programming. Their goal is to encourage individuals under 59 to engage with older adults during special events during their lunch services. The events included Mother's Day, which already took place, but then we have Father's Day on June 12th, a 4th of July celebration that will feature a special bingo day to bring friends and families and a game day on August 7th that will include teens from our family resource centers coming to participate with our seniors here at the Senior Center. And then as you can see on the screen, there's kind of a handful of different events and activities that are happening, from the Father's Day celebration to a summer kickoff to karaoke. And then the flyer on the right is the Meals on Wheels program that we have every day, where not just in summer but year round, where the city's in partnership again with Meals on Wheels to serve lunch Monday through Friday at 11:30 every day for adults 60 years and over. And all of this and much more can be found in the Senior Center's Scoop. It's similar to our brochure guide, but specifically for our senior programming. And that concludes my report. All these things that I just talked about can be found, and a lot more information on our website at ggparksandrec.com. So happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Mark. Colleagues, any questions?
Great job. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you much. It's going to be a poppin' summer. A lot of
Yeah.
stuff going on.
It's gonna be
You're
busy.
going to be busy.
Yes, yes, we are.
Joe, Joe, go ahead.
Just have a quick question for John. Do we have any advisory for our residents who come participate in these events in terms of parking? Like the movie and stuff, can they, or they park the spot, or any,
Generally, some of the couple of parks that we do hold the events, we've had them at Garden Grove Park. There's plenty of parking. Main Street, people are pretty familiar with the area, so they can easily find parking. We don't ever seem to have especially with movie nights, we don't seem to have parking. We don't get the large crowds like we would at a summer concert. But even with the summer concerts, there's plenty of parking throughout the area that people can find. And Eastgate Park, there is the majority of the participants that come from Eastgate Park actually walk from their homes. But then there's also residential parking. So throughout the years, the community has been pretty good about finding parking for these particular type of events.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So we expect maybe a bigger turnout this year, since all the excitement and a very, the lineup is very exciting. So
Yeah.
hopefully we'll have big turnouts and there won't be any parking problems. But if we do, let's hear back from you so we can have some advisory for people.
Yep, absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you, guys. Okay, we'll now go to oral communications. We do have, I think, 9 or 10 cards. So we'll go ahead and get started. First one is Hoa Quinn Duong.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Joaquin Duong, and I opened my dental practice in 1988, 36 years ago, at 13518 Harbor Boulevard, Suite A5 in Garden Grove. And I always park my car in the far side of the lot so that I can save the parking for the customer of all the neighbors' business, and also for our patients. But lately, a year ago, I have to park my car right in front of the office because of the homeless situation. And and I'm always the last one to leave the practice, and I stay late to catch up with my paperwork. So and we also have the camera outside the practice so that I can see the outside before I go home. And it has become very getting worse. That sometimes, some homeless will be in front of our door to the practice, and when my patient get out or my staff get out of the practice, they have to step over them to go to get out. So it's getting worse and worse. And so I come here in front of the City Council and ask for your help. So could you please help us to resolve the problem?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll follow up. John Campbell.
while she's doing that, I have to apologize to the mayor. I showed up here at 6 early for the council meeting because I didn't want to be late. There was zero parking anywhere and I asked the nice security guy, I says, where do I park for city council parking? He goes, oh, right here. I'm like, I'm not sure. So I tried to park in one of the other spots, and he made me park in your spot. So I'm the bad guy with the white truck.
No
so.
sweat.
My wife, Dr. Duong, has the practice, and the practice is at Harbor and Trask, just so you guys know, in the Yoshinoya parking lot. I was actually coming here 2 weeks ago and got caught in traffic. I try to be early to things like this, and so that would have been on, I believe it was on the 14th. And you can imagine how shocked I was on the 15th when I got a phone call from one of the staff members saying there is a uniformed officer in the office and can you please talk to him? I'm like, okay. So gets the phone, and it turns out that there was a stabbing in the parking lot. There was a gentleman, a homeless guy, someone experiencing homelessness, and the officer was asking, my wife mentioned the camera, he was asking me for footage for film to see if they could figure out what happened that day. It's really, my goal here is to raise awareness of the serious problems that we're having in that center. As you can see in the photos, I could take hundreds more. I mean, we've all seen photos very similar to that. It could be any shopping center in town, but unfortunately, it's gotten to a state in that center that it's very, very unsafe. Aggressive panhandling. My wife has called me up to come down and clean defecation off of the front of her curb. Drug and substance abuse is rampant. Going through the parking lot today to pick up my girl, there's a gal out there with her torch doing a big old whatever she was smoking, something awful, whatever she was smoking, bad stuff. Obstruction of sidewalks has really become a big issue. You can see in the photo there's a gentleman that's literally taking up 6 parking spots on a Saturday. I took that picture. Patients are having problems parking. It's really become quite a problem. Trash is everywhere. We have patients that have been with us for 20 and 25 years that won't come back to our practice because they're afraid. They just are so uncomfortable being in the parking lot, they just don't want to be there. I read an article in the LA Times, and it stated that homelessness and crime go hand in hand. The rate of violent crimes is 40 times higher, and nonviolent crimes is 27 times higher in a homeless population. My biggest issue is my wife's safety. We installed cameras out in front so that she would be able to take a peek. Often she calls me and says, John, what's it look like? Are we okay? Police records will show about 3 weeks ago, there were 3 guys, and they were doing nothing. They were sitting on the curb. They weren't doing anything wrong. They had their little bikes there, and everything was good. And but for me, it's a crime of opportunity. If something like that happens, she walks out and has a problem. And the police department was kind enough to send an escort out to get her to her car. Please help us. You know, I've contacted the property management. There's a certain structure in place as far as trespassing and forms that have to be filled out and notarized and that sort of thing. He knew I was coming here tonight, and he personally asked me to ask you to see what you could do to help us. Is there anything that we as business owners can do in the community to try to help you guys do your job? Is there, can we possibly make a relation between a homeless advocate or something like that, or somebody in the community? And I'd really ask you if you would please check with your city manager and your police chief and please see what you can do to help us. It's a really serious problem. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And I won't park in your spot again.
No problem. You're welcome to anytime. Kim, go ahead.
Thank you. I asked if I could make a quick comment. I think everyone here knows that I talk about this particular intersection every single meeting, so I just want you to be rest assured I am your specific council member for that area, and every single meeting I'm talking about Harbor and Trask. Every entrance and exit for the freeways, the Motel 6, the rehabilitation center right behind you, that entire plaza has just been overrun and rampant with crime and homelessness, and I just want you to know that we are doing everything we can on our end to help remedy that. Our police department, along with all the other services that we are providing, are trying our best, but I want you to know that I'm advocating for that specific intersection every single meeting.
Bonnie Laurie.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. As a lifelong resident, it was really bittersweet to hear of all the improvements coming to the other new parks, while our park here has been neglected for quite some time and is now going to be demolished. I have spoken with hundreds of my neighbors in the last month or so. The majority of them were unaware of the financial and structural cost, especially the pond being removed. Many wondered why there was no vote or a survey sent out. Most were disappointed with the proposed new plan, as it does not replace what is being taken away. I have a petition here with nearly 1,000 signatures from residents in the area that would like to see the park remain as it is. I am only one person discussing this with my neighbors, and I'm concerned that other residents are not aware of what is going on here, even though I know there's been outreach. Considering this unique and beautiful park has been enjoyed by residents for decades now, it would be wonderful if we could find a compromise between growing for our future and preserving our past. I am asking that these voices be taken into account and that you consider sending out a survey to residents to properly assess community support. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Dr. Kent Toka?
Hi, how you doing? I'm Dr. Toka. Nice to meet you all.
Hi.
I'm here sort of for the same thing that this couple came here for, but I've been in this area for about 31 years, and I have never seen how degraded my area is. My area is on Chapman and Gilbert, and I have my practice there, and I've been practicing there. And one of the things that really concerns me is my wife's safety and my staff's safety. We've had situations where I've got confronted in my back parking lot by a homeless person. Luckily, it was just a homeless. But to share with them, there's also a criminal element in our area. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. These guys are wearing backpacks, they got phones, and they got bikes. And they're running around all over Chapman selling drugs. And I've already discussed that with some of the police officers here, Sergeant Brown and Sergeant Valencia. And it's really, to me, it's intolerable. Because when you're putting my life in danger, like it was that day when that person just popped out of my back lot, I mean, he could have stabbed me really easily. He could have taken my car and taken off. Luckily, that didn't happen. But I still see a lot of these criminal elements that unfortunately are taking advantage of empty buildings. I got 2 empty buildings right next door to me that the business is closed down because of, the COVID crisis and financial reasons. And now they've taken over those 2 areas, and they're right next door to me. And now they're jumping over my fence. I have a closed fence. So they're jumping over, trying to use my electricity, trying to use my water, which, I try to help some homeless people because, you want to be a caring person, and I have nothing bad to say about homeless people. But when it comes to criminal stuff, that's where I draw the line. And these people are selling drugs, they're selling fentanyl. I just spoke to Sergeant Valencia, and he told me that they can't even arrest these people, which is ridiculous. And if they arrest them, they gotta let them go the next day. And then that's putting my life in danger. If I go and point the guy out, and boom, they're gonna come after me. They're gonna go after my wife. So I'm here today just to express my concern for the community, for my patients like they are, for my wife, my staff, and for children that come to my office too. So, this is a bigger problem from what I hear from the police department than you guys. You guys kind of have your hands tied a little bit. But I'm gonna seek out more people like young Kim. I know her personally. I'm gonna contact her. I'm gonna contact some more people because this is ridiculous, getting out of hand. And someone's gonna get killed. This poor lady's scared for her life. I'm scared for my life too. I don't wanna have to defend myself with my with a gun or something because I have to protect my wife or something. I don't want that blood on my head. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's getting out of control. So, you know, whatever you guys can do to put pressure on people, bring in more officers. I think they need more officers out there so that we can maybe make their lives impossible to be able to stay in those buildings. I mean, they're tearing apart those buildings, you know, little by little. So, you know, thank you for hearing me out, and whatever you can do, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Me? Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know it's but I just want to get to the heart of the homeless. We are trying to take some steps as a body here to actively deal with the homeless problem. We're all aware of it, and Kim's she's been screaming about that area since I got elected. She's really been a voice. Our new navigation center will be opening up this summer. And I don't know if you're familiar, that's kind of the new modern homeless shelter thing, which we really are hopeful that it'll help some of these problems. Also, we're hopeful that we'll get that grant passed Supreme Court decision will be a favorable thing in our upcoming here pretty soon, that we could start doing some things legally. So we do have a few things hoping this year to resolve things. Plus, our point in time count this year was low. We dropped tremendously. I think you announced that last meeting. 23% less homeless this year than last year in our city. So we've got some good news. We've got some things in the hopper, but again, private property versus public property. You know, the public property, the police can do, but private property, you almost got to hire a security guard and, you know, do it that way. I mean, but anyway, with that being said, I just wanted to let you know there are things coming that we hope to be helpful with the problem.
If I can add one more
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Just to clarify, oral communication is an opportunity to come up and address the council, and it's not supposed to be a two-way conversation. We keep
Right.
your cards, and for instance, on the ones we've heard, we'll forward them to ask our special resources team to contact you guys and get into some of the specifics on these things. But yeah, it's not supposed to be a conversation or dialogue. Cindy?
Yeah, this is in my district, and Dr. Toka talked to me a couple of times. I just want to make a quick comments. Council member George already mentioned a couple of things, but I walk this neighborhood a couple of times a week at nighttime to go places and check around there. Couple of things that we're gonna do as council member with the resident around there. We're gonna do a cleanup, walking around there, and just try to kind of clean up and make sure that, you know, make it uncomfortable for the homeless around that area. That's one. And then the second thing, I brought this up to our staff about the business in that area that with the vacant building. And so the staff will reach out to the business owner there and try to see that what we can do. And the last thing is that we actually went to meet with the business owner last week. And I reached out to the landlord for the one across the street and the one next to yours. I talked to them about what are they doing about homeless issue. They're gonna put more security and camera and different things that they're gonna implement, and I think that's gonna help. And plus the navigation center that we're gonna do. So that's it for me, Mayor.
Thank you. Kyle Mason.
Good evening, everybody. Basically hear about the same conversation. Mr. O'Neill, you especially ought to know, sir, the riverbed. You guys put a beautiful fence over there off of, is it Stephanie, the street that dead ends? OCTA? But, yeah, well, no, but they put a beautiful fence there. But why can't we have one put on Gilbert? With the riverbed, where we need it to keep the people from going down below. Simpson Chevrolet, I've got so much video and pictures, and it's like the man says, it's dangerous. The video, I even played the police officer. If he would have saw it, he even said he would have to arrest me. This was the last time I came to the meeting a month ago. I literally have to get physical with these people. Yes, I am a black belt, and yeah, I'm not going to be afraid of them. I'm telling everybody, please, it is dangerous out there. You guys got to get these fences put up along the riverbeds, especially. Why are these clothing units sitting around by the women's club? And then you've got one around the corner sitting right there, and it's a graffiti. And yet the homeless come and they dump it upside down and they graffiti all over the place and make the biggest messes. There's 2 of them, right? I mean, Walmart Way and in the women's club parking lot. Very interesting. I mean, is it just an invitation for the homeless? I mean, the area is so bad. I had to call the attorney of the animal hospital to get them to clean up the graffiti on there. We've never had graffiti on our street until about 3 weeks ago. And then we got another gang coming over and wiping over it. It's called Street Family and Raw. And you guys got to get it down. You guys got to clean them out. I mean, I hate, and there's no threats. Things are going to happen. You know, and I don't know what else to say. The fences would be the best thing to do. Right now, there's no fence on Magnolia. Anybody can walk through that fence and go right down there and help themselves. Why did they put a new fence around someplace? Is it because it's a ritzy area? I mean, that's a real nice neighborhood. 2-story houses and everything. How come they can't put one on each end? I don't understand. I mean, I've been asking for over 1.5 years. No answers. I mean, y'all came out, y'all already seen part of it. You even talked to the security guard. What about the fence going on from Simpson Chevrolet to the riverbeds? Along the whole back area of 24-hour fitness. It's unreal. The needles, the messes. We're constantly cleaning it up. Please, I'm begging you, please. Thank you.
Thank you. John Schieffer.
Good evening. I am here at behest of Kyle, my friend. I just moved into the area. I don't know much. I love where I live. I love the food here. My neighbors are amazing. But I can see the writing on the wall, and it's actually writing on walls. It's tagging. It's not cool graffiti. I would appreciate that as a fellow artist. That's not what I'm seeing. It's tagging and it's gangs, and they're claiming territory, and they're battling with each other, and that's going to lead to violence. Not me. I'm a pacifist. But with each other over drugs. And it's pretty obvious. There are a bunch of other issues. My friend Kyle is a passionate man, and his passion sometimes turns to anger because he cares so much. If you can get past the anger, you can see that he loves where he lives, and he loves the city, and he wants to take care of it. So please don't dismiss what he says and what the other community members are saying, because we love where we live, and we would like to be able to live here in safety and with the kind of humanity that isn't cruel to people who are experiencing homelessness, but does set boundaries on what people can do. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Kevin Joyce.
Good evening. I live near the intersection that we were just discussing near Chapman and Gilbert, and I just wanted to say I've been living there about 7 years now, and the situation, so far as crime is concerned, is worse than it has ever been. Just like what the last gentleman was saying, there are, and 2 gentlemen before him, there are gangs riding around on bicycles with backpacks dealing drugs, and there's an escalating graffiti war. It's never been a tenth as bad as it has been this past several months because of it, and it just seems to be getting worse, and something eventually, I'm afraid, is going to happen. And I'm glad to hear that there's a navigation center and so forth, but I think we need to have a stronger police presence in the neighborhood. It's just been deteriorating. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Andy? I'm sorry, I can't read the last name. Andy Ontivera? Or Ontivera? Andy? Okay, we'll come back. Ruby Garcia.
All right. Thank you. My name is Andy, and I want to say thank you, Miss Stephanie Clofficer, for coming to the special games to cheer our students and schools. I got you a shirt as a thank you. Thank you. And it's Hero.
Is it okay if you move here? Okay. And that's it. Thank you for him. Thank you.
Well done. Did you want to speak? Ruby? You're up next.
Sorry. Thank you, guys. He really likes the microphone, guys, especially this one. Good evening, Mayor Jones and City Council members and city staff. My name is Ruby Garcia, and I'm the CEO and founder of the Andy and Aiden Safety Group, here to invite all of you and all of our special needs families watching us from home to our third annual Communities Come Together of Garden Grove event on June 12th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. here at the Community Meeting Center at 11300 Stamford Avenue. This is a free event for all families, and we're excited to announce that besides working with Garden Grove Police Department, we're also bringing in OCFA, who will be joining us as a new partner this year with new safety stations along with the Garden Grove Police Department. Our new station will be featuring fireworks safety as well as other safety stations such as personal safety and how to interact with the police officer and firefighter. And now we were also bringing New York life insurance to create ID cards for the families to use for a personal safety station. And we're also excited to bring other new additions as well. So this event is free. We just ask families to RSVP using our QR code on our flyer. We'll go ahead and leave a copy here, but there's also one listed under the City of Garden Grove page under events. So families can RSVP there. Or you can also call me at 714-856-4914 to RSVP. I can receive texts or get voicemails. Sometimes I get a little busy during the day, but I'll promise I'll call you back. But we'd love to see you all there and hope to see a lot of families there and hope to grow this event every year. And we cannot wait. Everyone have a good evening.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, that's all the cards I have. Is there anyone else wishing to speak who did not submit a card? Okay, seeing none, we will close oral communications. Next, we'll recess to successor agency. Madam Clerk, would you like to call roll?
Member Breitigam?
Here.
Member Tran?
Here.
Member Dovin?
Present.
Member Klompenstein? Here. Member Nguyen Peñalosa?
Here.
Vice Chair O'Neill? And Chair Jones?
Here. Okay, we already did oral communications. Consent items is just receive and file the minutes. Can I get a motion? Call to vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Any matters from agency members? Seeing none, we will adjourn and go to sanitary district.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I'd like to call the sanitary district meeting to order. Can we please call roll?
Member Breitigam?
Here.
Member Dovin?
Present.
Member Klompenstein?
Here.
Member Nguyen Peñalosa?
Here.
Member Jones?
Here.
Vice President Tran?
Here.
And President O'Neill?
Here. Thank you very much. We've already heard oral communication simultaneously. We do have one item under consent. I'll entertain a motion on that. I move it. That's for the minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. I have a motion is second. Please call for the vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Thank you. We do have one item tonight for consideration. I believe we have a staff report.
Yes, this evening, the item for consideration is award a contract to Ramona Inc. for project number CP 1387,000, Acacia Parkway Sewer Main Replacement Project.
and Deputy Director Sam Kim is here to provide that report.
Thank you, Mr. Pedro Cruz. Mr. President and members of the Sanitary District Board, tonight the board is being asked to award a contract to Ramona Incorporated for the construction of the Acacia Parkway sewer main replacement project. This project is one of the priority projects identified in the Cotton Grove Sanitary District Sewer System Rehabilitation Plan to address sewer main structural deficiencies and defects within the city. The existing sewer main running within the Civic Center parking lot that connects into Garden Grove Boulevard has a severe structural defects. This project will extend and reconstruct existing sewer main in Acacia Parkway from Euclid Street to Civic Center Drive and replace the sewer main in Civic Center Drive from Acacia Parkway to Garden Grove Boulevard. The sewer improvements will divert majority of sewer flow from the Civic Center parking lot to Acacia Parkway and abandon the section of a sewer main with the structural defects. This project will also allow any new developments and redevelopments within the area. The sewer improvements consist of construction of approximately 1,235 linear feet of 8-inch VCP sewer pipe and 4 new manholes and 10 sewer lateral reconnections. This project also includes the demolition of existing raised medians, construction of asphalt concrete pavement, restriping, and other pertinent improvements. 5 bids were received and opened by City Clerk's office on April 25th, 2024. The apparent lowest bidder was CM Construction Corp., but the Sanitary District received a relief of bid request from CM Construction Corp. Due to their clerical errors. The second lowest responsive bidder was Ramona Incorporated with a total bid amount of $1,215,800. This bid is within the current project budget. The licenses and references of the contractor have been reviewed and verified by the staff, and all other documentation is in order. Should the board approve the contract tonight, then the construction can begin in June and be completed by October of this year. There is no impact to the general fund. This project is included in the 2024-2025 capital improvement budget and will be financed with the sewer funds. It is recommended that the Sanitary District Board accept the relief of bid request from CEM Construction Corp., award a contract to Ramona Incorporated for the construction of the Acacia Parkway sewer main replacement project in the amount of $1,215,800 and authorize the general manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the Sanitary District. This concludes the staff report, and the staff is here to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that report. Any questions for staff? Mr. Dovin.
I do have a couple of questions for Sam and then maybe a comment.
Sure.
First off, congratulations, you found a bidder. The first one fell out, and I believe that Ramona has been our contract bidder before. Is that true?
Yes, we have used them before with the sewer project and water project in the past.
Okay, so they've been reliable, and if my math is correct, we're talking about $100 per line feet.
Yes, close to that, yeah.
Which I think is a very good deal, very good deal. We either spend that money now or a lot more later. So lastly, I want to know, as you've mentioned, this will relieve some of our sewer deficiency issues in the area, allowing for more development. So people who will apply for development projects that requires sewer, they will have a better time next year because it will be finished by October, correct?
That's correct, sir.
How many houses are we thinking in that area, or a kind of I'm thinking in terms of blocks, or it's like 1 square mile, half square mile. How many blocks are we talking about that we're going to relieve this issue?
It is hard to tell. We'll have to look at the map. the contributed area which connects into the sewer in the area will be covered. So it will be probably 2 to 3 blocks around that area.
Okay, that's still very significant, and people who are in that area will enjoy more development, and hopefully we will make rounds around the city. I know you have a plan to also develop further and replace these deficiencies, and hopefully we'll get everything done by October if we vote tonight.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Bradigan.
Yeah, I echo Councilman Dovin's sentiments. Matter of fact, I think I said that to you when they were reading the staff report. This is very, very inexpensive for the amount of work that's being done, which kind of makes me a little leery sometimes. You know, it's like, why is it being done so cheap? But congratulations on finding a bidder and an economic bidder being responsible to our taxpayers. And with that, I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second, any other questions? Seeing none, let's call for the vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Thank you. If there's no matters, any matters? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and adjourn till the next regular sanitary district meeting. And I'll turn it back over to the mayor at City Council.
Alrighty, thank you. We will reconvene City Council and go on to consent calendar. It's recommended that 2 through 7 be acted on simultaneously unless anyone would like to pull an item. I'll call to vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Okay, takes us to public hearings, item number 8.
Yes, this evening, the public hearing is an adoption of a resolution confirming the Garden Grove Tourism Improvement District Advisory Board annual report and levying the assessment for fiscal year 2024 through 2025. And Deputy Director Greg Blodgett is here to provide that report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of City Council. Tonight we have a consideration of our Tourist Improvement District. It's been around since 2011 and been very successful at bringing new business to the city. So we have a short slideshow we'd like to show you. So tonight we'll go ahead and conduct the public hearing and receive the report from City Clerk if there's any protests regarding the district. And if there's no majority protests, then move forward with adopting the resolution. So once again, the district is divided into 2 sub-areas. And each year we need to decide if we're going to change the sub-areas boundaries and or assessment. So in this area we have 10 hotels. 9 hotels are north of Lamson, and then the 1 hotel south of Lamson is Great Wolf Lodge. The levy assessment will remain the same at 2.5% to the north, and the southern section gets a 0.05 or 0.5% assessment. So those remain the same. So our budget is made up of 2 main components, the GG TID, which is $861,000, and then also contribution to Visit Anaheim, which is roughly $2 million, which is 71% of the budget. So the total budget we're approving tonight is $2.93 million. And the first budget we have is GGTPC, which is our local hoteliers. And the budget there for 24-25 fiscal year estimated is $711,000. And then there's a carryover of roughly $150,000, so a total of $861,000. Of this, a lot of new things that we're going to put in this budget are advertising of $28,000, a new website, also for $28,000, and then a new initiative, the Foods of Garden Grove, will be included at $28,000. And then we'll have a potential tourism missions, which we'll go over in a minute, of $34,000. Support of our chamber and sponsorships, and a majority of the program is private security, which has been very successful at $258,000, and Harbor Boulevard maintenance and utilities, which is very important to our district, at $284,000, and then the actual contract for management of $18,000, and then the rest are admin fees. And luckily, coming back to this year, hotel tourism has come back, so we have some money to put back in a reserve of 8%. So the total budget was $861,000. Last year we did have an opportunity to visit both South Korea and Tokyo, and those tourist missions were very successful. So I think we're going to look at doing some other types of other missions coming up in this new fiscal year. And here's some photos of the Visit Anaheim partnership going to Japan for the sales mission. The next component is Visit Anaheim budget. So we're going to have Visit Anaheim come up and present their presentation. They have about a 5-minute presentation to go over some of the activities for Visit Anaheim. Oh, first I wanted Dieter to come up and say a couple words about our GG. Good.
Thank you, Greg. I thought you were going to forget about me. Mayor Jones, City Council members, thanks for giving me a minute to speak. I'm in Garden Grove for about 2 years now, but I understand the Garden Grove Tourism Improvement District is around for 11 years. So I'm the GM of 2 hotels, the Marriott as well as the Embassy, but I represent the other hotels. And I know the TOT contribution, I guess, to the city budget is fairly significant. It's $28 million, and believe me, all of our GMs combined, we want to give you more money. We want to make it more successful because that means that we would be more successful. But the partnership has been great with the city, particularly with Ursula and with Craig, who is, I have been in a number of cities over my career, and the connection that you have to the city council and as the communication is wonderful here in Garden Grove. I want to point that out. But overall, we have a great partnership with Visit Anaheim, which is going to do the presentation after my little speech here. But it is, there is a lot of good things coming, I think, to Garden Grove and Anaheim with the expansion of Disney, obviously, as we all know. There's the Olympics are coming, the World Cup is coming. There's a lot of good things for growth. And again, our partnership with the city and with Visit Anaheim, I think, will be very fruitful for the future. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Mayor Jones, City Council. Thanks for allowing Visit Anaheim to do a fairly quick presentation. Real quick, I'm Mike Waterman. I'm the new guy on the job, the president and CEO. I've been in the role a little over a month. Quick background, 26 years with Marriott. The last 12 was actually here in Southern California. My wife and I raised our kids here, so it's great to be back. Then I did 4 years as president and CEO at Visit Houston, and then the last 4 years as chief sales officer at the other Disney product in Orlando. So thrilled to be back. My top 3 priorities are pretty simple. The first is to restore our reputation. We made some questionable decisions in the past, and if those decisions negatively impacted you or your staff, we sincerely apologize. I can assure you it will not happen under my watch. So that's one. Number 2, and really the most important thing, is we've hired a company to do a 5-year strategic plan. Our role is pretty simple. We're here to drive economic impact through tourism and ultimately improve the quality of life for those people who live in Garden Grove, right? If we bring more visitors, they spend more money, we can invest that money back into things that visitors like, but also locals like. And then really the last thing is communication. We're here to be the communication. You're going to hear more from me. Our role is to communicate to you as a board. Our role is to communicate to the folks who live in Garden Grove and also our partners. At the end, our job is pretty simple. We want to showcase the world that Garden Grove and the greater Anaheim area are the most amazing place to live, work, play, and visit. So thank you. And with that, I'm going to bring up Pepe and Christina to do a quick presentation. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Christina Dawson, Senior Vice President of Operations with Visit Anaheim. So, and then if we're going to get the just slides up, Greg, and let's get to the that one. Perfect. Yeah. So it's been great. As Greg mentioned, since 2011, we've had the funding contributions from the City of Garden Grove. And as a result, you can see this citywide, the next slide, yeah. This citywide slide is probably the most important, secondary only to the leisure impact of what we do. It shows the ADR, the occupancy, and the RevPAR, revenue per available room, as it relates to when citywides exist. The blue lines you'll see reflect no citywide. The orange lines reflect the average in terms of ADR, average rate, occupancy, and again, revenue per available room. And then the green shows the impact when a citywide is in town. So it does show the significance of that, that impact to your city. On the next slide, this is just an a grouping of some of the impacts of the 44 citywides that we have currently booked for 2024. The economic impact, as you can see, is 1.37 billion. I'm sorry, I keep going on and off with my glasses. And that is of the entire destination, Anaheim and Garden Grove, and our entire team is still booking for this year, through the year. The next slide shows just a breakdown of by month of both attendance, room nights, as well as economic impact. And it shows, yeah, that's okay. And it shows the breakdown, again, as we're booking for the year and within each month. Now I'm going to ask Pepe to join me, Pepe Avila, who's our Vice President of Tourism and Partnership.
Thank you, Christina. Good evening, Mayor Jones, fellow council members. Thank you for your partnership and your support with Visit Anaheim. I'm going to cover now the part that relates to the engagement of the Garden Grove hotels. I know what you have in front of you is an eye chart, but what I really wanted to present in that slide is the list of all the trade and consumer programs. First, I'm going to start with the trade programs. And you could see on the top the actual name of the Garden Grove hotels and where they're participating. The trade programs are marked in blue, and those are sales missions, like the mission that you joined us to South Korea and Japan last year. Our familiarization groups, when we bring travel agents and travel professionals to the destination to experience it firsthand, as well as other programs like conferences, conventions, and other types of trade events. In the next slide, consolidating just to the yellow part of it, those are our consumer campaigns, 11 campaigns within the time period of 2023 and currently 2024. Those campaigns currently, the results that have been reported so far have generated directly to the Garden Grove hotels over 9,000 room nights. And the economic impact for those hotels in regards to gross bookings is over $2 million. Also, what I wanted to highlight is the different countries where we are directly targeting and promoting those Garden Grove hotels that are listed at the bottom of that slide. On the next one, I wanted to highlight some of the key programs familiar to you, like Expedia, and also unique partnerships that we've done with the NHL, and that is through the Oilers in Edmonton and the Canucks in Vancouver. Canada is an important market for us. There are direct flights from Calgary and to also Vancouver to John Wayne Airport, and we have campaigns directly targeting those markets. We don't have the results yet, but those will continue to generate incremental visitation and economic impact to the Garden Grove hotels. On the following slide, just as a show and tell, you could see here 3 different campaigns and the landing pages of those websites where we are engaging directly with those partners, and where you see in the yellow squares the Garden Grove hotels that are directly featured in those programs. We'll continue with the financial information. We'll team tag in here with Christina Dawson, so she'll continue with that part, and then I'll finalize.
Okay, and here is the breakdown of the funding that we've received for current year from Garden Grove TID. And this slide actually shows how we allocate the funding between sales and marketing efforts for staff, some programs, a lot of marketing initiatives to make sure that the money is allocated for the best return on investment, again, against sales and marketing efforts. This next slide is just recent. We actually just received these updated numbers for 2023 from Tourism Economics. And this one reflects the specific economic impact of 3.2 million visitors to Garden Grove, nearly 800 million in visitor spending, plus an additional 317 million in indirect spending, which provides a total of $1.1 billion in economic impact just to the city of Garden Grove. So every number reflects an increase from the prior year, as we would expect. And then the next slide shows, next one over, this is our workforce development program. I've spoken about this several times in the past. We started the program early 2023. with the purpose to cultivate a future workforce for our destination and our cities, our industry specifically, because we've recognized that there's been such a need. We've completed a total of 16 presentations between high schools throughout Anaheim and Garden Grove. In Garden Grove, you'll see here, we've been to Los Amigos, Santiago, several of the others. This photo here is from the Cavaliers at Santiago and the large group that attended our training. Oh, we've got somebody from that school. Great, that's good. And so we've collectively trained between all 16 high schools over 1,000 students so far with the program. We have 40 community partners, both from Anaheim and Garden Grove, that have engaged. And the goal is to really show them the opportunities within the tourism and hospitality industry, specifically within our destinations. So it's been a great program. We're looking to grow this and develop it. This will be ongoing for a very long time. So if you have questions or any suggestions, we welcome those as well. And then the last slide that I have to share before, again, Pepe comes back, is regarding our staff volunteer program. We encourage and support our staff to volunteer, each employee, one full day per quarter to give back to our local community. And you'll actually see these are 3 separate events. I think the 2 were, because I know the one in the middle was myself and Pepe were there at Bracken's Kitchen. And then the last one, we've done several throughout the year. We always do at the OC Food Bank here in Garden Grove. But it's very important for us as a company to make sure that we're giving back in our destination and within our cities as well. And so we support that. We just wanted to share that with you as well. Thank you.
Well, now I'm back with a crystal ball and to tell you the future is bright for our destination, and the partnership more than ever is very, very important. And we continue to be strategic, and as our CEO and president mentioned, we're going to be developing this strategic plan because there's a lot ahead of us coming up. Well, as you see this year, and just a month ago, Disneyland Forward got approved. That's $2 billion that is coming to the destination, in addition to already $6 billion invested all in around the Honda Center. So what is happening within the timeline that you see here? Well, next year Disney's turning 70. That's going to be a big celebration, creating this sense of urgency, this call to action, come and visit the destination, only once in a lifetime experience. Then we go to 26. OC Vive, that big development around the Honda Center, opens the first phase. We get the World Cup also that we're sharing with Mexico and Canada as well. And some of the teams will be based here in Orange County, their training facilities, in addition to Disney California Adventure 25th anniversary. 27 is not there, but that's also the Super Bowl here in Los Angeles, which also creates the spotlight to Southern California, and especially for us here in Orange County and in Garden Grove. And we'll continue to 28 when the Olympics come to not only Los Angeles, but Anaheim. Honda Center will be an Olympic venue, and all the hotels, including in the Garden Grove area, will benefit from that. Also on 28, OC Vive is fully open. And then we get to 2030, which that is going to be Disney's 75th anniversary, bigger and than the next year's celebration. It's a Royal Diamond Jubilee. And also is going to be in that year, in 2030, when we bring back IPW. That is the Olympics of the travel industry. This would be the 3rd time that we're hosting. So we're bringing this convention that attracts all the buyers and the media from around the world, around 70 different countries, that will be here in our destination and that will be here experiencing firsthand Garden Grove, Anaheim, and everything that we have to offer all in around Orange County. And just to finalize, the next one is a video, and this is the video that is part of our Here We Go campaign, which we launched here in Garden Grove last year in August at the Grave of Lodge Resort. And this is part of our new campaign that we're excited to share with you. 30-second video. Thank you, Greg.
All right, here we go.
Wow.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Welcome to Anaheim.
Here we go.
And here we go. Any questions?
Cool. Thank you guys very much. Colleagues, any questions, comments?
Say thank you so much. I think it's really exciting. You can definitely feel the momentum that's coming here in the county with all these projects and what they're going to do. I think just for revenue and tourism in Orange County and for Garden Grove, this is also a very exciting time for us as well. So thank you so much for your presentation.
No, we thank you for the support. and,
Absolutely.
Look forward to many, many, great new opportunities coming for all of us. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you. Thanks, Dieter, for being here.
So at this time, it's recommended the City Council conduct the public hearing, receive the report from the clerk regarding protests, and assuming there's no protests, move forward with approving the resolution for the advisory report, levying the assessment for Garden Grove Tourist Improvement District for 24-25. That concludes staff's report.
Hold on.
Public hearing.
Thank you. We will open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. Colleagues, take it away.
Mayor, just for the record, as of the end of business day today, May 28, 2024, the clerk's office has received 0 protests. Therefore, there is no majority protest. Thank you.
A quick
Go.
I do have questions for Greg and Nikki. I'm sorry, Ursula. But I can wait for George. You can start.
Just a quick comment. They talk about all the benefits bringing in businesses and this type of thing of this project. And I think as a dais, we see this directly in a lot of things. But the public watching this on TV and, they might not. So I think maybe in future staff reports, it would be nice to point out all the successes and, a little bit, the money, they kind of did that part of it, but the other part of it would be kind of nice to make that the public more aware of that. That's all. I'm very in support of this, just wanted to bring that up.
I have a couple questions, then a comment also. First, the numbers look good for us. We're really growing the tourism part. Actually, of course, after COVID, it's kind of a challenge to bring everybody back, and the partnership with Visit Anaheim is wonderful, and they're doing a lot. Also, we are marketing to a lot of countries, which I think is a very healthy trend, because I've always wanted to kind of internationalize Garden Grove. Not that it's not already international, but we want to make it even more international. So friendly places, people to visit, take pictures, not just in Anaheim, but in Garden Grove. And I'm thinking more public art, if we can put it in. If you're from South Korea or Japan or wherever you're coming, you might want to take some pictures in Garden Grove to share with family back at home. So whatever we can budget, maybe not this round, but for the next round, be thinking about how we can have public art installations that will be more attractive, because people come, they take pictures. So we want to give them places to take pictures, not just in Anaheim, but in Garden Grove. So that's the comment. The question I want to ask is, I'm looking at the budget page, if you pull it up. I see 30% budgeted for private security, number 4, and I see number 5, 33% for Harbor Boulevard maintenance, utilities, repairs, and landscape. Now, tonight, we had many people speak about homeless and crime in the area and maintenance. We've even heard, Mayor Pro Tem Cindy offering that we have residents and walking the areas that are most impacted by this challenge that we have, just to do cleanup or to have a presence in the community, so people are somewhat assured that we are working actively, proactively towards addressing some of these concerns that people have mentioned tonight. It's the first time I've seen in our meeting since I've been here that we had so many people come in and speak to the homeless and the criminal elements that are scaring a lot of people. I'm scared. Okay. So my question is, the private security that's being provided here, are they going to actively provide security for this tourist area that we're proposing? Because that's a lot in the budget. If I'm totally off point, let me know. But in the maintenance part, and number 5, and the security part of the budget, will that somehow contribute to taking care of some of the security and maintenance concern in these areas? That's my question.
Yes, so we've upped the number from last year to add more security. I think the number of folks that are able to tour and patrol cars has been upped over the years. So the hotel sees a success in having additional security. So we've increased the number. I think it's about 30,000 more for this year budget than last year budget. And we may look at using maybe even some of our reserves that we have to make a more robust security if needed. But it does really help improve the district overall.
I can just add to that. When we have the meetings with the board, security always comes up. We have a dedicated police officer to this area that looks at the public realm. So they're really there to look at the public streets, and the private security is really to conduct security on the hotel premises and in their private parking lots. And there has been a need for that. There's frequently break-ins to some of the cars and things like that. And so the hoteliers definitely see benefit in this private security, and PD sees benefit in them trying to help themselves with our police forces looking out over the kind of overall area and the public area. So I think that it's been effective. I think that this area is not as impacted as some of the other areas that we heard about this evening. And I think we can always look to leverage those resources to the best of our ability to make it as safe and clean as possible. And so to the maintenance component, it is the desire to have the front door as you're entering this, tourism district to look really clean and sharp, and that I think helps the overall crime situation as well. So there's definitely interest in maintaining this in a top-notch, world-class manner.
Oh, thank you, Ursula. I think you have your head in the right place, because I am thinking along the same line, clean and safe. And if we can do this for all our areas, it'd be great. But definitely in the tourist area, which is bringing revenue to our city and supporting our bottom line and giving us more resources to address this problem throughout the city. But at least we can set a good standard of clean and safe in this area, and hopefully that'll carry over to other parts of the city. So I think you have your head in the right place, and I'm going to support this project, of course.
Any other questions, comments?
Oh, it already got motion.
Yeah, we already have a motion and a second, right? Okay, we'll call the vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
All right, that takes us to item 9 under ordinances presented for a second reading and adoption.
Yes, item number 9, the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2954, entitled An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Garden Grove approving 1 zoning amendment number A-040-2024 to amend the city's official zoning map to change the zoning of an approximately .88 acre parcel located on the east side of New Hope Street, north of Garden Grove Boulevard at 12828 New Hope Street, assessor's parcel number 090-671-07, from an R1 single-family residential to residential plan unit development PUD-019-2024, zoning with an R3 multi-family residential base zone, and 2, residential plan unit development number PUD-019-2024 to facilitate the development of a 15-unit residential detached condominium project on the subject site.
Thank you. Any updates on anything, or did anybody want to make comment, or do we want to go straight to, yeah, go for it.
Obviously, I've been sort of deep in the weeds on this project. When it came to the last council meeting, we had quite a few members of the community come out after we had sort of a private community meeting about this project. One of the asks was for Olson to host a community meeting, which since our last council meeting occurred. And again, another robust conversation with many members of the community. I want to thank the community very much for being very passionate about their neighborhood. They have a very tight-knit group of people that they love their homes, they love their neighborhood, and they're protective of it. And I was pleased at the community meeting. I felt that Olson heard them. We all discussed certain conditions that we'd like to see be brought forward. Those conditions were discussed at this community meeting and are stated here in the staff report. And I think will go a long way to easing the minds of the community. As mentioned in that community meeting, I can't give them everything. It might not be perfect, but the fact that their voices were heard and that changes were made goes a long way. And I want to thank Olson very much for hosting that community meeting and being a part of that conversation and allowing the residents to feel heard. So thank you very much for that.
Joe.
If I may, Mr. Mayor and the rest of the council, I've received at least 5 emails since our last meeting a couple of weeks ago from residents, from people who came here with their families. And I'm pleased to report back to you that all 5 that I've received are positive. And that's really heartwarming. And I remember Councilwoman Stephanie Kloppenstein being very passionate. I've never seen her like that. There was a different side of her when she had to take the lead. And it's her district, so I fell behind her because I support her entirely in the request that she made of Olson, and you've been responsive. One of the emails said that you are putting in a bench by the tree there, and that's good news, very, very good news, and it makes people happy, yeah, and it shows that you're a responsible developer, and that's what people want. They want to be heard. If you have to take a step back and have those meetings and talk to people and reassure them that this is good for the whole neighborhood in the long run. And tonight we talk about a lot of homelessness and crimes happening in and around these areas. And I happen to believe that with these new developments, it will actually improve the neighborhood and lessen the risk of that. So I'm pro-development, but a responsible developer like Olson is what we really want. And we thank you for coming in. I've said it a couple weeks ago, but I have good news to report back. So my colleagues here is right on point, everything she said. And since then, we didn't derail or delay, and I'm here to vote on the second hearing or the second reading of this proposal. And as you see, nobody came to oppose or object or otherwise raise any more concerns, because we're not saying everything's perfect and everything's taken care of, but at least you've taken a step back and have tried to work with people, and they, for the most part, they're not here to object. They want this in their neighborhood now, and I think it's going to be very, very good in the long term, and hopefully you can keep developing more in our cities. My district, please. Thank you very much.
Oh, just a quick note. Want to say thanks to Olson for the decision that you make. I did receive several emails you. All of them were positive, and so just want to take the opportunity to say thanks. And also, that was seeing Councilmember Stephanie Kloppenstein was so, in a way, passionate about that. One thing that I was surprised in the way that at the beginning we talk about 2-story and then 3-story, thing like that. You know, people want to understand what really happened. But at the end of the day, we have a good outcome. Everyone happy, and there's no delay to your project. So that's kudos to you guys. Thank you.
Super quick, I just want to thank Olson Group for making those accommodations. I really appreciate it, and for helping speed up the meeting last time. I just wanted to share that I did also receive several emails regarding this particular project, and I happily received from several younger individuals, younger families that are moving into the area, expressing their thanks for my very impassioned bigger picture, and sharing about our arena numbers and how this is going to be helpful and information that they weren't aware of. And I think I talk about this a lot, that while we share as much information as we can, we have to find that silver bullet that really gets the message across to more people. We're all busy working, some of us multiple jobs. All we really care about is making sure we have food on the table, our kids are taken care of, etc. And then when something comes and is in our face, impeding our, respective piece of the pie, we get upset. But sometimes we have to take a step back and really look at the bigger picture. And so I think we just have to find a way to really communicate to our residents that, here's why we're doing this. One, had we not done this, the state would have forced us to do something even more ridiculous. And so to find good partners where we'll have a good project that's going to keep the area relatively the same as far as, like surrounding buildings and houses and things like that. I think we just have to find a way to communicate that across. And to Councilmember Stephanie Kloffenstein's comments last meeting, let's get ahead of it next time. City staff, let's make sure that we're working with our partners to ensure that they're having these meetings beforehand, whether it gets approved at Planning Commission or not. We still need to actively engage our neighbors so that we don't have meetings with folks that are either misinformed or, just here to get mad and not really seeing the bigger picture. So a lot of what happened at the last meeting could have been prevented on our end if we would have just been better partners to also help inform our residents of what was coming.
I'd like to circle back just 30 seconds for the people at home and especially for the families that came. I replied to every email that they sent me. And I thank them for showing up, speaking up. It's very courageous of them. It shows a lot of heart that they care about their neighborhood. And I want to thank you, every one of them who may not be here tonight, but they're at home and they can watch this and they will know that they are the true leaders. And sometimes we just have to listen, but not just listen. We're going to take action, and I see that Olson has taken some very positive actions. So not only thank you to you, but thank you to all the residents who came and spoke out, because we're all the better for it. So I want to let them know that I read every email, and I've replied, and I want to thank them on the dais here that they have raised their voices and represented their neighborhood well, and when we have responded, and hopefully that partnership is going into the future, long after the project's complete, and everybody's moved in, that we know that we didn't take any shortcuts, that we did what we need to do along the way and adjusted as appropriate to get to the point of where we have these products that are going to be a great help to our city, not just the neighborhoods there, but as you know, we do have some housing element mandate that we need to fulfill. So this will help us tremendously. Thank you.
Alrighty, I would like to motion for approval of the second reading. Call the vote.
Motion received, 7 yes votes.
Thank you. Alrighty, matters. Well, no items listed, so we'll go around the horn. George.
Sure. First, congratulations, Pacifica softball, for winning another CIF championship. That's awesome. I know I've asked the city manager to reach out and so we can properly acknowledge those young ladies. And knowing that school is ending this week, I think tomorrow is the last day to actually reach out and get in touch with them if we're going to try to get them here for the next meeting or whatnot. But anyway, congratulations, Pacifica softball. We just finished the Strawberry Festival parade. It was great seeing you all there at the Strawberry Festival and running around. I know we're all volunteering at different groups and booths, and I think I saw Cindy over there making funnel cakes. I was hawking corn at the Kiwanis booth. Yeah, shucking corn, and I saw Stephanie out. I saw Kim out there. I think I saw Joe out there. So yeah, and Steve, you were out there too. Actually, I saw you all. I saw John too. I saw everybody out there. So we were all doing our part. So it was great. So with that being said, my last thing is the tagging. It was brought up here during public comments, and I have seen an increase in some of the tagging where my district comes in contact with Cindy's district there on Lamson and Magnolia. I know there's an increase over there in John's district by Gilbert there. And I know our graffiti removal folks they're busy. I mean, they're out there doing their job. But just wondering if maybe they couldn't be a little more proactive. You know, what'll happen is a place will get covered with graffiti. They go out there and they clean it up. It might take them a day or two before they can get out there if they get notified about it. And then they clean it up, and then the next day they're out, it's tagged again. And then you got to wait for another citizen to report it again. So some of those frequently tagged areas, it would be kind of nice if maybe the graffiti team would just routinely check it, because they know it's going to get tagged again because they've cleaned it up 10 times in the last month. So, you know, it would be nice if they'd be a little more proactive in looking in those heavily tagged areas, especially, like I said, over on Gilbert and right there on Lamson and Magnolia. That seems to get hit a lot. I know that one area where it gets tagged a lot is actually on an apartment complex, so that's probably private property. But anyway, just food for thought. And that's all I have.
Yeah, a couple of things I thought I would comment too on the graffiti, especially since it's between District 2 and 3, Gilbert and Chapman, that whole area, because you have the shopping center, right? It's attached, it attracts a lot of people there, the shopping center. Constituent came and talked about the riverbed, but it's really the drainage ditch and the railway easement. The fencing there is a little complicated because there's 3 different agencies involved. We're doing everything we can to improve our fencing, but some of those areas are not the city. It's more from Orange County Transportation Authority or the railroad. So we're working on that. I would strongly encourage, you know, Garden Grove, we're doing everything we can. I think there's 2 full-time graffiti folks and code enforcement and the police. We have to do everything within the law. And please, 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 you know, we hear you loud and clear when you come to the city council. But on a lot of these things, there's been legislations passed that have tied the hands of our police officers. So we have to stay within the law. If we don't, we'll get sued, or worse, you know, something will happen bad. But private property, you have a lot of rights as a private property owner. Please, please, please do your due diligence to protect your property. So that may be private security, calling us right away, having a form on file, a no trespassing form on file from the owner of the land. If you're a tenant in one of these complexes, talk to your landlord and say you want something done about it. You know, they need security and all that. I'm not trying to push the can down the road. We're doing everything we can within the legal means that we're able to do it. Also, please contact your state legislator, your assembly person, your state senator, your U.S. congressperson. These laws are made outside of the city of Garden Grove, and they've taken away a lot of our local control. People say, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I would love to do all these things myself and go out there and build a fence and do this and do that. But my hands are tied in a lot of the bureaucratic structure that we have. So you have the people making these laws are up in Sacramento. So please, you know, we talk to them all the time when we see them, and we're constantly complaining to them, hey, you need to do something about it. But when they hear from you directly, a constituent up to Sacramento, it holds a lot of weight. So please contact them. We'll continue to do our part on that. Enough about that. We will work on that. We had a great time at the Strawberry Festival as usual. It was a great event. I was happy to see the sun at least peaked out in the afternoons, you know, to get people out. And with that said, you know, I know a lot of people are getting their pools ready. And please be careful, pool safety. Let's keep those pool incidents down. Fences, alarms. If you have a party, you have to designate somebody that's not drinking, that's a lifeguard, and if that person is designated to be watching the pool, if they leave to go to the bathroom or they leave, they have to designate another person to watch the pool. Very, very important. It's very tragic. On a happier note, I was going to comment about development. I'm hoping everything that's going on in the county, especially with Disney Forward and the OC Vibe and what we have here in our tourism district with our hotels, I hope it'll, you know, get our developers cranking again on some hotels that already have all the development entitlements they need to get them building so they'll have it done by 2028 when we have the Olympics. I'm happy to report that, you know, the Vibe is like $6 billion through 2030. Disney is committed $2 billion, but really it's going to be about $4 to $6 billion over the next 10 years from now. There's 40 billion of Disney money for parks over the next 40 years, and a lot of that's, now that Disney Forward has got their zoning, a lot of that's been committed to the Anaheim Resort. So a historic thing is that both Disney and the Samueli family that owns the property where the Vibe is have committed to community workforce agreements and are hiring local contractors and local workers to build these projects. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for jobs. If you're interested in getting into an apprentice for any trade, please contact, if you're in high school and you're getting ready to graduate, ask your counselor, hey, where do I go to get up with the trades or get into an apprenticeship? I'm not going to go to a four-year college. How do I get into one of these trades? Because there's going to be a lot of demand for, I'm excited for the young folks. I've been working here for 40 years in construction, and I'm telling these young folks, there's so much work coming up here between Disney and the Vibe and in Orange County in general that you're going to have a great career over the next immediate 20 years. Is going to be a lot of work. So, yeah, kudos to Disney and to the Samueli family. Disney's had a handshake agreement to do local hire and have agreements with labor groups for a handshake agreement for like 70 years. But for the first time, they signed an agreement on the expansion of Disney Forward with the trades and the apprenticeships to hire locally. So that's a historic event. So thank you very much.
Thanks.
Yes, Mayor, a couple items. So I was invited to Get and Go High School Award Night, and I was really impressed. There was more than 200 awards giving out, and more than $1 million were given to the students. And while I was there, sitting there listening, I was so inspired with what they did, and I think, what can we do as council member? Just kind of participate in that. So one of the things I thought of that, I'm gonna create 2 scholarships. Each one of them, $500 each, for high school and younger, and then high school and older, and that's gonna be for the student that put good impact to Get and Go City. And so I reached out to our Get and Go Foundation, community foundation, right? But I called a couple of times, nobody picked up the phone. So I'm gonna try again, but we'll try to make that happen and do something fun with the scholarship. And second, I attend the Southland Mental Health event. Southland always have a great event for residents. And earlier we talked about that area, the Chapman and Gilbert and somewhere there with, we need a lot more with clean up and make it nicer. So Southland gonna have, I guess they're working on demolish one of the building and make a better, a new building. So I'm looking forward to that. But Southland have several programs during the summertime for student and adult. So if anyone interested, you could reach out to them. Next one is the strawberry. The council already mentioned, I have a lot of fun with that. One of the things I want to say was thanks to Miss Nicole Jaimes for inviting me to help out at the Kiwanis Club making the funnel cake. So thank you for having me to be part of that group. I have a lot of fun with the student and also adult. Next item is the soccer. So since I became a council member, I talk a lot about the Get and Go part. People playing there, and they reach out many times asking like if there's anything that we can do to make a better part where that they could play soccer and they go home, they don't feel hurt because there was so, the floor were not evenly and that kind of thing. So they invite me to come to they have the Memorial Day tournament a couple of days ago. There were people not just in our area, city nearby, but also from San Diego travel here just to have to participate in the tournament, and they want to say thank to the council and the people that give them the opportunity to play there. But they also mentioned that they have hard time to book our part. That is something that I will bring it back to our staff here. Last but not least, actually, I forgot about the ICSC. So I want to say thank to Greg and Monica for helping with the trip. We had a good time talking to the investor and the landlord around here, just so that looking for opportunity if they could invest more money in our city, whether expand their current business or maybe bring all the business to, kind of occupy all the empty building or, kind of reevaluate the area. And so just want to say thank to them for their help. And last but not least, is this flyer here that I have, District 3 and 4, Council Childovin and I will have kind of participate or have a, what do you call that, like a small business event. Our staff will come and SBA and SBDC will be there to let residents know or businesses know about the opportunity that they could apply in our city. That's it for me, sir.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. I heard a lot with the speakers, especially the gentleman who came and expressed their concern, and I was very moved by the dentist, the doctor who came in with her husband, and she's been in business 3-4 decades. Now she's feared for her life, literally. And if he has to pick up defecation in his building, nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to do that. That's the last thing we want to hear. And I know that Kim speaks to it every meeting. We're going to keep working on it, but I myself have experienced the graffiti with landlords who are my friends, and they're elderly. They're retired. They depend on these rental income, and they're tagging all over these apartment places. John knows what I'm talking about. And when our code enforcement come out, they take care of all the graffiti that's in the public space because we've allocated a budget to do that. But then the graffiti, the tagging, it doesn't stop there. They're tagging on private property, which we as a city cannot take care of that. We can't paint over, we can't clean up on private property. Now I want staff, Matt, hopefully you can take the lead on this and see if we can find some budget, some money to help. I'm talking about seniors who cannot pull $1,000 out every time there's tagging. And if they don't clean up, they get a violation from our code enforcement. We send them a citation. Like somebody else tagged their property, but they get a citation or they have a cost in removing those tagging or paying it over. That doesn't seem fair to me. And I want to ask our city attorney, tagging or graffiti is a crime, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Now, I want the people out there who's doing that to know that graffiti, tagging is a crime, prosecutable, and if we catch them, I'm for prosecution. It's not just cleaning up after all these nuisance. If we catch them, we're going to prosecute them. It is a crime. Stop it. And our SRT, or Special Response Team, is working overtime. We know that they interact with the residents. 2 of the officers' name was mentioned tonight. Sergeant Brown and Officer Valencia. I remember them by name because I've met them, and I know they're doing a good job. We can't just keep budgeting for policing. We've already grown our SRT team from 3 to 5 to 7. Do we need to grow it to another 10 or 12? We might have to. But we got to find the budget for it. We have to give our officers the tool to work with. I heard about the stabbing right on Harbor and Trask. It's very, very disturbing to hear that in our city. And then the very next day, you hear about a shooting of a movie star. He got shot dead on the spot. He's an actor for General Hospital. A young man, 30-something. And somebody was robbing him, taking the catalytic converter from his car. He showed up with a friend. They turned around in a mask and shot him dead when he was trying to protect his friend. So my message here tonight is, please do not confront the criminal element that you might see on your personal private property. Don't confront them. Let our police do their job. Call the 911 if you have to. Let the officers go after them in hot pursuit. Do not confront these criminal elements. That's my message tonight, and it's my opinion. I will not confront them. I will just back off, and it's better to save your own life than to risk it by trying to protect your property. So everybody who came here tonight, they've already gone home. But I want them to be assured that we are working on it and we don't want you to confront the criminal elements. Let the state legislatures call your Congress people. One gentleman said he knows Congresswoman Young Kim. I know her too. Let's talk to them and see what they can do. And yes, our hands are tied, but it's not that we can't do anything. We just have to take it one step at a time. It's very disturbing what I heard tonight and what I've been hearing all week long. But just don't try to confront them or try to. There's just too much going on. The tagging, the drug dealing, I've seen it. I saw today 2 guys on a bike, exactly what that gentleman described. Drug dealers on bicycles in our neighborhood. I saw it on Trask. 2 of them. So everything that these people, our residents come and speak of, we are experiencing it too. I'm experiencing it, so I know that what they say is the truth. And we will try harder. Please, Matt, see if we can. And generally, as a city, should we approve some funding for residents who are victims of tagging to help them clean it up? And yeah, maybe we need more officers. We need to catch some of these criminals and prosecute them. Thank you.
Stephanie?
Thank you. First, just to comment on the speakers this evening, I always appreciate it when residents come out, business owners, and share their concerns. They're definitely concerns that we hear so much about, and we appreciate your being afraid and that you have issues with your businesses. And we are always in constant communication with our police and with our special resource team and are working tirelessly on these efforts. I know that recently we had a presentation on code enforcement, and Joe has the pin on tonight, the plan, build, beautify. And as we look at the beautification of our community, code enforcement plays a huge role in that, and graffiti obviously is under that. I know we're looking to develop a volunteer code team sort of again and training people to be a part of that and equipping them to help with code enforcement. I feel that graffiti, although yes, it's a crime, it also fits under code enforcement, and it's a part of the beautification to eradicate graffiti in our community. So if some of these people are willing to volunteer for code, maybe they'd also be willing to volunteer to paint out the graffiti in our community. So always looking for creative solutions and ways that maybe we can combat this issue. I want to thank Ruby Garcia and the Andy and Aiden Safety Group for coming out tonight and providing me the t-shirt that's down there. I went and supported the special games that's put on by Garden Grove Unified School District. What an amazing event to see these children and their families out there supporting them and shining so brightly. It was very inspirational. So thank you to them for bringing that to me. We did attend the ICSC convention. It is always a whirlwind trip, jam-packed full of meetings. It's all things business and economic development. We have investors, developers, people interested in bringing business, maintaining, and obviously creating new business in Garden Grove. I think for myself, one of the biggest takeaways is how truly excited I think people are about Garden Grove. We are definitely on the map. They see our teamwork, our synergy, our creativity and collaboration. And so it was very exciting to hear that buzz and to be a part of those meetings on what we are bringing to Garden Grove now and into the future. And finally, I want to congratulate the class of 2024. We have graduations going on right across the street this evening, and it's wonderful. So many students just excelling and again, shining so brightly here in Garden Grove. It's a wonderful thing. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Strawberry Festival. Thank you to the Strawberry Festival Foundation and all the board of directors. They work so tirelessly all year long. And then leading up to the month of May, it's literally a full-time job for all of them to put this on. And the theme this year was celebrating our hometown, and I think we all did that this weekend, so thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. First item, I was a little disappointed with the movies and the concerts. I know that I am always a huge champion for making sure that we spread the love. I dream of the day where, you know, all of our parks are done and beautified and that we alternate there's at least 6 great locations in each district where we could rotate these events. And I hope that we come to a day where each district has one event every summer. If that requires us looking at providing more funding to make that happen, I think that's something we need to look into. Several other cities have them all over their city, spread out. And I know that the first time we did it, you know, there wasn't low attendance, but I will say when they're not accustomed to having something in their area, it's going to take a while before people, you know, start to show up and really enjoy that. And I think that gives opportunities for folks that have never come to these events to experience them in their backyard. So I really hope that we, you know, especially once Woodbury is done, that we look into making sure we spread the love. The other item I wanted to have staff follow up and let me know is to ensure that June 1st that the rainbow lights are lit at the clock tower and that the pride flags are hanging. I want to make sure that that happens the day of. I know last year or the year before there was a little bit of a delay. So we know that this happens every year, June 1st for the month of June. So I hope that that is on time and will be shining bright. Second to last, I also just want to circle back on some of the issues we had residents come talk about. I know my council colleagues know that I speak about Harbor and Trask every meeting. I think last meeting was the first meeting where I didn't make a comment, but I mentioned before, it's getting out of hand. We've had a student sexually assaulted. I drove by while they were wheeling a dead body off the 22 exit, right by the Motel 6. There's a shooting, I believe, or suspected shooting not that long ago. There's stabbings, there's shootings, there's other crimes that are happening alongside drugs. And so I'm almost at my wit's end. I don't know what else we can do. I would love to have a report or some sort of presentation from PD kind of breaking things down for us as far as crimes, specific hotspots, and possibly entertaining the idea of having our council send a letter to our respective legislators to let them know of the increase and what the consequences of some of the bills that they have passed are, just so that we can shed light to that, because we're also not receiving enough funding to help support the consequences of their actions. And I really think we need to be a little more proactive on that front. And if that's something that the entire council doesn't want to do, or we don't want to have the report, I'm happy to sit in on a meeting with the chief and whoever he feels is necessary and send a letter myself and or go to those legislators' offices and meet with them myself. And lastly, I want to end it on a positive note. My last Strawberry Festival was bittersweet, but I was so happy to have Council Baby Penelope Peñalosa there with me. She was very popular. Apparently everyone around the parade route knew who she was and kept screaming her name, so that was very sweet. A core memory I'll have for her that I will share with her when she's older. And with that, that's all my comments. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. City Manager Lisa Kim.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. Appreciate all the feedback. We will take it back. You have an extraordinary executive team, and we'll brainstorm and bring back some creative ideas for council consideration. Some may include additional funding, but some creative ideas of lending, working with our code enforcement and bring on a robust volunteer program, and also working with some of our service clubs as well. I'm a proud Lion, and many times our members have asked for any community projects, so we can look into that a little bit further. So thank you so much for your feedback. And I also want to end on a high note, celebrating class of 2024. My daughter graduated last Wednesday from Cal State Fullerton as a Titan, and I'm a proud Titan mom, so thank you.
General Counsel, any need for closed session, anything to report out?
Nothing for me, Mayor. Thank you.
Wonderful. Okay, colleagues, with that, we will stand adjourned. Enjoy the rest of your evening.